Hey everyone, welcome back to Thunderpick, a 2026 World Championship 2026. That is, I am JRT, joined by Exner. We've got the North American Series coming at you. We're in the lower bracket now to determine who's going to move on for another matchup. Is it another matchup or is this just for qualifying the playoffs? I think I just got crossed up there, Cole. But anyway, maybe you can correct me. How you doing?
Yeah, this is a kind of elimination matchup right now. So
Right,
it's a little confusing because we do have, well, we were
because we had
going to
that
have another
forfeit,
matchup
right?
going to go on today, but
That's what
it's a
crossed me up.
forfeit, so it
Yeah.
automatically moves them forward. It's a little confusing, but yeah, we do have an elimination matchup on the line here for Group A. So going to be interesting to see here two teams that have headed in towards the lower bracket looking to fight their way out. As we highlighted, I think there's definitely anything is possible with these two squads in terms of who's going to be playing up against FarmVille. But man, I gotta say, OverKnight, a shaky start, not only
Yeah.
in terms of their opening map performance, but in terms of staying in the server. They're having a tough time. Over the grand scheme of things, a little bit unfortunate forfeit in that second map. I'm sure they're eager to play a full series out tonight and see how they do.
Absolutely. Let's check out the schedule here and see what we've got. Of course, as already mentioned, there was a forfeit as insane players are not going to be playing. So GK got the win in that other group. And right here is OverKnight up against Shimmer. And that's what you're going to be seeing right now. So that's pretty clear. All right, let's move on and check out the bracket so we can kind of describe what is going on here and give you more information. So yes, this is an elimination match. It is not a decider match, which will be tomorrow. But this elimination match determines who will go on and face off against FarmVille, who lost to Aether yesterday. And Aether actually played pretty well up against FarmVille. We had some flashes from FarmVille, but nothing more than that, as Aether deservedly qualifying for the playoffs. And the winner of this one going to get a chance to see if they can also deal with what FarmVille brings to the table. But I feel like FarmVille are a team that's very aggressive, hyper aggressive in some cases, and that can be difficult for, I feel like, either OverKnight or Shimmer to deal with. But that's another discussion for another day. Let's talk about these two squads, and let's start with OverKnight, I think, because this was a team that did, I mean, it wasn't the greatest first map, but I saw flashes from Four Taylor, I think, and also Majestics looking pretty good. But overall, it was tough, and you kind of want to see a bounce back from the map number two. We never got that map number two, Cole.
Yeah. I mean, you want to see this squad here be able to pull something together. Had some issues with their technical side of things, and that means that they couldn't quite play things out. I mean, we know what this roster has been able to bring to the table in the past here. I'm sure that Shimmer are pretty aware of it as well. On the other side of the server here, in terms of the expectations, a lot of head-to-heads, a lot of matchups played out in between these two teams, and what OverKnight have shown us in the past is just a lot of off-spawn calls here. They're a team that's going to try and get in your face. They don't really hold much back. Not a lot of defaulting. Just a very aggressive stance roster. And with Shimmer's history versus the squad, not quite able to, put series into the picture, but have been able to pluck out some maps and have been able to take things close in the past. And I think that's a really promising sort of situation here for this Shimmer squad. Is that experience, haven't played in quite some time, so now you're hoping Shimmer can formulate a game plan that can shut things down. And I do think it could make for an interesting story here, that they can finally pull one over on this OverKnight squad after so many attempts here.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree. And let's check out the Shimmer roster now as we're already kind of discussing this. We don't have Mads here yet, I believe. I think they want to add her eventually, but as it stands, they're going to stick with this current roster. I believe Mads would replace Ava. But either way, they looked pretty decent in their last approach, in their last match that they played against Aether, especially on Mirage. They gave Aether a lot of headaches, and I feel like, given everything that's been happening with OverKnight lately, obviously there's also a ping disadvantage to consider here in this matchup. It is very possible that they could come through, the Shimmer that is, and come through with a win here in advance to face off against FarmVille. I mean, like you said, they faced off against them a lot in the past, last year, back in October most recently, and they got close. I just feel like now is that chance where things could be pushed over the line. I think Alice is an addition that wasn't there at the time. She wasn't. So, and she looked good. She was one of the more impressive players for the Shimmer squad. So I feel like with this roster, there's a chance they could find that first BO3 win against OverKnight.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, especially with what Empathy did on the opening day there, where I mean, she was able to really pop off and make things interesting versus that Aether squad that we just saw.
Yeah, Empathy was
perform
crazy.
incredibly well. You're talking about consistently clashing up against, a presence in the server, an opera in the server like Bezimek, who also had to pop off just to make that series a 2-0 for them. So, kind of a very impressive opening showcase here for their debut in Thunderpick right now, and looking to continue that conversation here as they move forward into this elimination matchup. And as you said, they're going to be playing with a lot to gain in terms of after the missed opportunities last year and some of the close series, trying to reverse some of those results and fight for a playoff position, which I don't think is too far out of the cards here for them, given how competitive they have been versus some of these squads. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to pull that through here and deliver in stride, show up and do what they did in the opening day here and continue that effort they've been putting through. But for me, I still think, every time I see Shimmer play out, I see more and more growth coming through from them. So see if they can make this group stage, this lower bracket run, a good run for them.
All right. Well, that being said, let's check out the veto now and jump into that. And we've got Inferno banned by OverKnight, Anubis gone from Shimmer, and then a pick into Mirage by OverKnight. And I think Shimmer has to be happy about that because they technically played pretty well on Mirage in their previous affair there. Then they go to Nuke, which I think was banned by Aether previously, which I was curious about to see why they had banned it, but I guess, Shimmer liked to pick into it, and that's absolutely where they're going to go. And then Ancient as the decider. Looking at, we don't have that much data on Shimmer, unfortunately, but looking over on the side of OverKnight, you do know that Mirage is a map that hasn't been that great for them, but they are picking into it consistently, so they're hoping to find success on that one. And Nuke on the other side, they have no wins. So it's been tough for both teams, right, Cole? Like, it hasn't been a great little run of form for either of them, and that's when things can actually get really interesting.
Yeah. That's why I think we've seen a little bit of back and forth in this series in the past here in terms of how the map swings go. But for me, Mirage, I think it's always going to be something OverKnight tend to take a liking to, just because of their puggy nature. If you know standard smokes, you're going to be able to take map control a lot more effective. If there's, which I kind of feel like this is a case, if there's not like a calling presence in the server, which I don't think there is for OverKnight, to be honest. I sometimes watch them play out, and my expectations are that they are just playing off of instinct and running through the motions. Mirage is probably the map for you, to be honest. Same is true for Ancient. Kind of similar in that sense. That's where it comes into question here as an opportunity for this Shimmer squad, I think, to really take some advantages here. One of these two teams going to break the dry spell on this map and get a victory for themselves, but Shimmer would definitely like to capitalize on some of those lack of protocols that OverKnight are going to possess. We'll say that what OverKnight don't really have in the tactics or calling ability is going to be showing up in the firepower here, where they do take timings that will get in your face, and that can be hard to deal with. But for me, it's going to be a clear showcase here on Nuke, whether or not Shimmer are ready to go here, and also how they prepare their defense around OverKnight on this CT side of Mirage as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at the history between these two squads, the map that Shimmer was able to take in the past was Mirage and Nuke. So like, those two maps are maps that they won, not in the same series, but still, like, this is a prime opportunity, I would say, for them to actually strike true and get their first victory, officially anyway, in 2026 as Shimmer. Anyway, let's check out the head-to-head, see who we've got to highlight. It will be, of course, Empathy. She played really, really well in that previous series, as you've already highlighted. 0.98 rating, but I don't think that does justice to the potential she has to perform on the server. And on the other side, ForTaylor sitting at a 1.06 rating over the last 3 months. He's also been good on occasion. I did highlight him as being a player that did pop off the page on some instances, but overall, I mean, it's been the case for the entire squad, just hasn't been good lately.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen here. Your ratings aren't going to pop off the charts if you're not able to get consistent series wins, but you're just looking at some of the individual moments there and certain maps here and there that Empathies have been able to have those performances and definitely showed it versus Aether, which is a strong enough showcase. But we're ready to hop into the action and start this series off.
All right, and we're into the mix. Here we go. OverKnight up against Shimmer. Map number 1 of Mirage. And we'll see which one of these two teams can get out of their slump.
See that fairly quickly as we're ready to hop into the action on the pistol. Comes that utility usage here towards middle. Nicely placed, but it is early contact taken from STX. And a lot of assistance coming through there as well. Vanilla still kicking. As they draw out some of those B rotates, but there's so much resistance. Bomb is down in apartments while AMC is on the site. They spotted out Vanilla way earlier in the round. And now they're hearing him thunder stomp here through the apartment side of things. Empathy and Ava both low on HP, but not too healthy either. That's a quick headshot that can give him a chance. Burst Glock onto Empathy as well. Some kills being provided. Bomb scooped up. Still gonna punch in those numbers. And that's where Alice can get involved there to shut down the plant. Nice pistol opening here for Shimmer.
Yeah, very well done. On the side of Shimmer, that's what you want to see if you're a Shimmer fan. And for OverKnight, it's, you know, again, there's a lot of things they're fighting. I already mentioned the ping. They've got a sub today. We didn't really highlight that too much, but Vanilla is taking the place of B1, and B1's one of their better fraggers, so it's not the best of circumstances for OverKnight right now. Alice watching towards top mid. Nade goes out. Lots of damage done. 4 players on the receiving end, and here comes STX. Only one, though, as she will fall to the deagle of Vanilla. Alice looking to do more damage, so is Empathy, and that will pretty much be it. AMC's the last one available, and they know where he is now.
Drops there, AMC gonna land a nice headshot, but flying around the corner there. Deputy gonna find the finishing frag. Vanilla has been a pretty consistent sub for OverKnight whenever B1 isn't available, but as you said, B1 also kind of a key contributor for this squad as well, so had to deal with that stand situation more than they would like, I'm sure. But also you have the situation where Vanilla is not unfamiliar with stepping into this team and playing things out, so. And once again, here's the mid contact taking up catwalk. He gets tucked in here towards ladder room early, and STX able to strike first here through middle. Great HD, make it a double and extra contact. Not finding alone STX with that utility out, so making sure to keep these players alive for as long as possible. Serendipity is going to drop here on the A side though, and Alice taking some contact here. Tough draw. Fight. Won't be able to win it. ForTaylor able to do some damage there off that Galil, but AMC getting collapsed on. ForTaylor creating enough leverage, but the bomb's down in connector, the big problem right now. ForTaylor head-to-head versus Ava in the clutch. Bomb for control. It's a Libra spray and not going to go in Ava's way. ForTaylor is going to be able to close things down. OverKnight on the board as soon as they get those rifles out.
Wow. I mean, it was close, though. It felt like Shimmer had control for a moment, but OverKnight strike back, and it's ForTaylor who comes out big towards the tail end. So Shimmer, because they did take damage in these first 2 rounds, decide, I mean, not that they took damage, but they just decide to be very conservative about their buy-up, right? You see that they had enough money to force up, and a lot of teams will choose to do that after losing the first round and getting the first 2. But They don't want to. They want those guns out as quickly as possible. Serendipity will get one onto FarmVille with the dualies, but she's lost a couple of teammates, and she picks up the M4 and gets another. It's at least something. Unfortunately for her... Oh, she flicks around and gets AMC. I thought she was dead to rights, but no. Manages to get one before she falls, and Ava catches Spamsy sleeping. Looking the wrong way. 1v1 again.
Crazy stuff here. Golden opportunity. Majestics down low. Catches the early contact with the kit. The smoke on top of that bomb here could create some space. Majestics looking to blow that smoke open. And try and get her off the bomb, and that's mission accomplished here. Ava's going to have to stick it now and instantly dismiss through the smoke. Majestics coming through with the 4K. Saving the day from that collapse on the economy there. Nicely timed up from Ava on the aggression, but just can't get enough. In that 1v1, Majestics finding a great post-plant position.
Technical timeout called. Who is having the problem? We do know that last time, unfortunately for OverKnight, they had an internet issue and they weren't able to finish the match. This time around, we're just looking to see what is the problem. I know that Shimmer had some technical issues as well in the last match they played, and it is a Shimmer issue, actually. So we're going to wait to see if this will be a quick resolution. Hopefully it will be. But it's a couple of heartbreaking rounds for Shimmer, right? Round losses, I should say, because they were so close. 1v1s twice, and each time shut down by OverKnight.
Couple of situations here put together, having themselves a close opportunity in both those rounds there, but not able to quite close it out in the end. Shake that off here. Come through a little bit stronger here in the next breath. They do got guns in the mix here for follow-up opportunity, though, at the very least. So not walking to this one empty-handed. To get everyone back involved here, they're going to get the guns out once again. See what they can make happen here.
All right, we go into it. Technical timeout over. AMC spamming around through that smoke with Vanilla. No damage dealt on either side. Shimmer. Oh, we'll lose Serendipity. That's FarmVille coming in from Palace and just nailing Serendipity to the wall. Empathy will get a trade back onto FarmVille. And then Spamsy finds STX. Like, this is some good maneuvering by OverKnight. They're picking off a couple of key pieces and isolating only one player on this A site. But it is Empathy. She's very potent. Will get one on back. Makes it a 3v3. And there's no trade available, surprisingly. Ava will fall to Spamsy. That's a really tough death for Ava to have to deal with, because Spamsy just goes around from above and is none the wiser of his positioning, although Empathy continues to do well. 2v2.
Or that impact that Empathy provides here for the squad. Would have danced around his position, but eventually gets dropped there. MC. Bit of a known quantity, but Alice not completely sure of it. Could make an effort to draw back this bomb, but oh, footsteps. MC handed it over. Big time shot close range. Actually, it's a connection. A leg shot there. A little bit of damage done, but they need this clutch, and it's Alice to provide it this time. Breath of fresh air after a couple of clutches missed out on from Shimmer. This time are going to walk away with the victory in the 1v1.
Wow. three 1v1s in a row, and finally Shimmer are able to push one across the finish line, and that's why you see the money situation is not great for OverKnight, because they haven't been able to survive with more than one player in the rounds that they won. So they will just settle with upgraded deagles. A piece of utility was purchased. It's already been thrown towards top mid. They want to try and gain this space. They will do so, but on the other end is Alice, and she really is a little wary of this. She doesn't really want to deal with what's potentially coming her way towards mid. She just backs off of it, gives it up to OverKnight, and will play it with her teammates on the site instead.
Oh. Dismissal there of AMC. Trying to spread out and look for clues here on the default of OverKnight, where everyone kind of gets the freedom to make their own plays. Tip of the head spotted for Ava. Bit of a risky position, but avoids the deagle shot, and Ava a complete. But he had started here. Op steps forward to cover off middle as well. Oh, nice flicks from Alice. Takes a headshot there on return, but it's target practice for Alice after winning that clutch in the last play with confidence in the next. And Shimmer gonna make it 4 on the board.
Alrighty. Not too bad for Shimmer. OverKnight will have the guns back. Oh, no, they won't. Or will they? We'll see what they decide. I do see a hero AK at the very least. Alice doing the work with the op, as you already mentioned, like just up against the pistols, but still, she was very sharp. The stats might not tell that story as much, but I can tell you, when she was popping off with that AWP, it was scary for Aether. Ava jumping up and down, looking to get that incendiary ready to be thrown. There it is. As soon as she spots one, that'll get tossed out. Oh, maybe not. Nade instead. Incendiary might be too late. She might just have to fall back and take a fight. Empathy supporting. When Empathy falls, now it's up to Ava, and she will fall as well. Player spotted over in the market window, and Shimmer are going to have to back off and reset. This bomb could get planted in the meantime. It still needs to be picked up, and there we go. Spamsy will take it and get it down to dirt. Soon, I'd imagine.
Seems that way here, but trying to push the issue. Serendipity. He dropped as he can move through the market side here. STX, though, still keeping this one alive. Up the catwalk here. Bit of a gap in communication there. Overexposes Majestics, and now AMC into a clutch. 1v2 here, trying to isolate these angles. Deals with the first. The op putting in the pressure on Alice once again. She finds the connection, though, and keeps Shimmer in winning ways once more. Alice coming through clutch.
That is very well done from Alice. Again, hitting her 10th frag on the map, which is the highest of anyone on the server right now. Helping her team power forward to a 5th round. And now OverKnight will have the buy-up. It's going to be 4 AKs and the Galil. Almost, well, I don't want to say almost full utility, but half the usual utility, maybe a little bit over that. As STX tosses the smoke out for connector, and they want to at least have a poke and a prod to see what's going on here. That nade goes out, and then Alice and Empathy combine for 2 frags. Majestics and 4 Taylors gone, and even Spamsy is felled. AMC managed to get one back, but he's now tagged down to 19 and finished off by Serendipity, who actually gets both of those. Oh my goodness, Shimmer are looking absolutely lethal right now.
A statement start here coming through from them here out of the gates. And a way to dominate in these rounds. After coming through so many clutch opportunities. I'll put into it right there, dealing with the faster pace of play. And this is what I talk about for Shimmer. Being able to come through here and recognize the style that OverKnight are bringing into the mix. Making sure they nullify it. It's really going to come down to your anchoring presence in the server. Being aware of some of these solo plays that come into the mix here. Sometimes you got to be ready for the full executes. But overall, I love a nice contact draw. And there's the extra coverage. Serendipity, you think she's too exposed, but instead has the opper backing her up. Everyone finding their frags here for Taylor, looking for the sneak on towards B. For a bomb plant. And spam down before he can get it down range here. Empathy gonna deny that much. Just in time, they're coming through with the clutch kill to make sure the extra cash flow doesn't work in the favor of the T side. And Shimmer looking to dominate this CT half.
No kidding. OverKnight feels like there's nothing they can do right. Even there, just trying to slip a bomb plant through and doesn't happen. Shimmer just on the case. So no additional money to get that full util that OverKnight we're hoping for. I mean, they had most of it anyway, so it's fine. Just you don't have that buffer of an extra $600. 140 on the clock. OverKnight getting desperate for some rounds, and I mean, just everyone on Shimmer have come to play. Spamsy going out. Ooh, STX. Oh, yep. Felt like that was going to happen. Majestic's coming in, and STX gave away the audio cue. Didn't realize there's someone below her. Majestics will get Serendipity, and then AMC drops Empathy. This is all OverKnight on the round. Oh my god, how have you overlooked an Ava so significantly? They have no idea. Oh my goodness, but Vanilla re-clears it. Unfortunate for Ava. Tried to play the patient game. It didn't work out. Now Taylor will take care of Alice. Third round for OverKnight.
Sigh of relief there. That OverKnight squad able to finally break a bit of a dry spell here for them. Breathe a little bit easier. Right around the corner here. Shimmer able to still afford a solid purchase. Change up pitch coming through though. A little bit of a more aggressive stance here on the A play. Instantly dismissed though by Alice's op. And they're going to be a little bit nervous. Be around that corner now with that opping presence still involved. Goes for a second swing, but they're already out Tetris. They're jumping in towards stairs right now. A huge play from Spamsy. Trying to find it all. Could be punished. That quick trade there in CT though. AMC goes swinging for the fences. And the HE finishes off Serendipity. So player up here on the OverKnight squad. CT smoke. All three players positioned in towards CT though. This is unknown to Shimmer at the moment, but it is Vanilla that goes taking strides on in for the duels. Vanilla goes downrange here for Empathy in a 1v3 clutch. Trying to read on the flank there. AMC punches hole over the top of that smoke. We'll be able to provide a fourth round there.
Good on OverKnight. They're fighting their way back into this one. Could be a 7-5 half, which is honestly going to be good news for them since it was 7-2 and felt like Shimmer could do no wrong. But now we go into this last round of the first half of action, and you got an op, you got two MP9s, the FAMAS, and the M4. Bit of a scrappy buy-up. We'll see if Shimmer can make it work versus OverKnight, who are starting to find their groove. Very fast-paced Counter-Strike, though, for OverKnight. And Serendipity is trying to answer that back with a fast-paced play of her own, chasing down Taylor and getting an AK upgrade in the process. Now they're going to fall back towards the site. They don't want to have too many gaps here. Molotov goes wide. Empathy. Oh! Spamming through the smoke, and she doesn't realize that Vanilla was actually pushing up. In the meantime, oh, look at that flurry of frags for OverKnight. Unbelievable. 4 in a row unanswered, as Alice is the last one standing, scratching her head, wondering what the heck just happened. She's about to get flanked as well, so more head scratching stuff. Well, or not. Oh! Getting a little too cocky there. And he gets no-scoped.
Oh no. Alice now gonna add a couple kills to her tally there before getting dismissed by Spamsy, but at least there is a little bit of pride to save there before heading out of the round there. Either way, Shimmer do bring in a solid CT side. I mean, 7 in total. Had to rely on a lot of those clutch moments. Eventually, OverKnight able to overcome. But slow start and those missed opportunities, but seen some impact and definitely coming through at the hands of the opping presence in the server there. Alice, so many key moments in that half. Giving them a 7-5 lead here. Now another pistol would really do them favors. He goes down here towards window and connector, and again, a very similar situation on the opening pistol. This time, a lot more resistance, but a flashbang well situated here on the T side to collapse. And they will happily take that 2-for-1 trade. AMC's got a CZ in the back of the site here. How's he supposed to hold up against this catwalk play? He's going to need his teammates to get involved there, and Vanilla does provide it. Oh, boy. Out of ammo there on the CZ does not do him any favors. And Forte, the Russian, this retake here does have a defuse kit here, but armor to work off of. Needs the headshots and instantly taken down low. Glock burst from Ava to seal things up, and that will be Shimmer with both pistols, 1 out.
Absolutely. Shimmer doing a good job on those pistol rounds. OverKnight, will they force? Will they eco? They've been better with the guns out, so they might want to get those as soon as possible. And it looks like that's the plan. Some upgraded pistols, a couple of them, or a few of them now. But other than that, they are on an eco, getting ready to buy up in that next one. Will they get aggressive is the question. Not yet. Couple players over in connector. One pushing up cat. I think they want to pinch on mid eventually. Yeah, with this spam coming through, they're hoping they'll overlook AMC, and he is not overlooked at all. Ava takes care of that. 5v4, 5v3. The bodies are here, but it does not matter. They just don't have the firepower to deal with the serendipity. Tries to go for a knife per round. Maybe getting revenge for that previous attempt, but either way, it's the bullets that do the job, and a 9-5 scoreline for Shimmer.
Like that. Happily, with or without the knife kill. Themselves down to even more success. Great situation here on the T side with the bonus. Got 3 MAC-10s, a couple of Galils, and an execute. Ready to launch early towards this A side. The only defender left in CT. This is a good time to strike. Caught with utility out. This is what you're after right there. Forte, they're completely dazed and confused. They're not prepared for this pace of play here. Even more swings going on. AMC desperately spamming down the FAMAS. I think continues to eat flashes. There's 24 bullets in that FAMAS right there as they toss in an HE. That just opens up the opportunity for Serendipity to nail another headshot. And that's a full bonus there converted. They're upgrading onto their opposition's FAMASs right now.
That's crazy.
Oh, Spamsy. He exposed here towards the top of mid. Worth a hunt here if you're asking me. Losing some bodies, but they walked into this round with so little. It's so worth it to rip any guns out you can. And there's another one added to the tally. Jestic's going to try and hold on to his weaponry here. Should be good to do so.
I don't know. I was going to say, I don't know if he can. It depends on what Ava does. And yeah, you're right. He is good because he stops moving forward. If he kept moving forward, then no. But either way, 10-5 for Shimmer. 3 rounds away from taking Mirage, which was picked by OverKnight. Even though we said, you know, Shimmer do like playing this map. They are comfortable here. And even more so on Nuke. We'll have to wait and see because OverKnight, this is a weird one from them. They're buying around the saved M4, but not fully committing. It's so strange. Like some players have gone down to below 1K and others have saved up a little bit. Either way, Spamsy's going to get a couple, so maybe that money situation won't matter at all. And a third racked up as well. Serendipity, his latest victim. Spamsy doubles back spots of both players. Information gained. Bomb in his control. Alice dipping her toes in the Molotov. A bit too much. Spam charges out, and STX will take care of it. There's still 3 more to deal with. Make it 2. STX spamming the smoke and dealing with 4 Taylor. AMC and Majestics not making any secret of their presence here on A. And look, Shimmer don't have to rush this. They've got plenty of time to rotate back to the B site. So either they pause and convince OverKnight they've gone for that rotation, or go for it in actuality and get to that B site. This is also great because it isolates each player on a bomb site, meaning that if you can get the frag cleanly, you're in a 2v1.
a lot of options right there, but Majestic's going to nail the headshot, make it a double. Make sure that this one doesn't get out of hand. Much needed security here. Looking in favor of OverKnight as they need every last bit of effort here to get back into this conversation. Have a bit of a path to make it back. A good start here for them. They continue to make things work. There goes the opening pick though. Majestic's the one that closes out the last round. Immediately watching for the sidelines now as AMC does trade things out. Equalizer to Serendipity. Playing aggressively around the smoke there, and just little visual sliver spotted onto Spamzy. Back and forth in that smoke exchange. But no further kills going to be provided just yet. Instead, the pathway up the catwalk made clear. This B bomb site soon to be tested here as Vanilla prepared. What's rearing around that corner here? He has no close by help in the defense. Closest is in window right now. So it's all going to be on his shoulders. Here's the footsteps rattling off. Early pickup. Catching him with utility out the spray down. He's through for two.
Yeah.
But not as clean onto Alice. And that gives them space in towards this B bomb site for a bomb plant.
Empathy will be big, and that shot onto Fort Taylor makes it a 2v2, goes back into cover. Spamzy flies out and deals with Empathy. Can't get the transfer over to Alice, and not much damage done to her either, which puts AMC in a very tough spot. He's only got 36 points of health. Goes for the fight and loses it. 1v2 clutch for Alice. And her dominance continues here on Mirage. 20th frag on the board and an 11th round game for Shimmer.
She's been over and over again when called upon. There's just maybe her third 1vx situation there that she's been able to pull through for Shimmer and essentially bringing in that success. Timeout going to be called for Shimmer to try and slow things down, get a little bit of a breather, but this is the extra push that they need here. We talked about some difficulties here in winning series overall. Being able to topple OverKnight on their map selection and not really give them a clear path forward. This would be a statement start to the series here.
Absolutely would, without a doubt. Just a reminder, folks, as well, you can check out all the latest Thunderpick World Championship news over on hotspawn.com. That's hotspawn.com. As we jump into the action here and see what Shimmer can deliver. Will they provide a headliner in terms of a 2-0 against OverKnight and even a nice win against them here on this map of Mirage? Serendipity for Taylor, but Spamzy will strike back. He wants to ensure there's at least a chance for his team to get something here, and wow, AMC goes right on back after his teammate falls and gets the trade. Alice's position known. Gets a spray out and says, well, this is not great. We'll go for a hop and looking for information. Does hit that shot and doesn't get traded. Oh my goodness! Alice, we're gonna get a couple. And Vanilla is now in a 1v1. They gave her those fights when they didn't have to, Cole. And now Alice is holding the right angle. Can she hit it? She will! Another clutch for Alice. 1v3 as she jumps to 23 kills now.
There's absolutely no way. These clutches are rolling off every opportunity. I mean, just put Alice last alive in the server. She'll seal the deal. This is unbelievable. I mean, that's your fourth 1vx there, and that one a 1v3 to push them into 12 now. How do you deal with this if you're OverKnight? Got no solution. They just handed over those mid duels, and that is something when Alice is last alive that you simply cannot afford. You know she's bringing that clutch factor into the server right now, and you're getting over eager on the duels. Fight things forward. Great flashbang though. It's going to be a push through the smoke for the T side. They're getting picked apart. Double entry provided right there. STX and Alice left alone. This time Alice dealt with first. Crucially, it's going to be now on the shoulders of STX in a 1v4. finds the first, but unfortunately they're going to deny the plant, and that is an amazing defense from Vanilla this time around.
Unbelievable. Vanilla just stepping up to the plate and saying, all right, I'll do it myself. 4K in the round. And Shimmer, well, I mean, they still got 5 opportunities to close out this map. You'd think the way they've played, they should be able to pull that off, but the money situation actually isn't great. They have a 4 spy coming through here. 2 MAC-10s, 2 Tech-9s, and the Galil. They're just going to try and rush into the A site. It's not a bad call, given the weaponry they've got. And they get in here pretty clean. Great flashbang toss. Alice Roar gets a couple with the MAC-10. Oh, MAC-10 rifle, doesn't matter. She's doing it all. Gets a 3K, but now another couple go back for OverKnight. And we're in another 1v1. Guess who? Yep, it's Alice. And she wins it. Another clutch and an ace this time. What a play from her, and what a map overall coming through from Alice.
You got to be kidding me there. Of course, she ends it with a cherry on top. It's going to be an ace clutch coming through there. That's going to make it number 5 on the map in a 1vx situation that she's able to seal up. And of course, it's going to be an ace to end it off. Alice taking charge in the server. We were talking and highlighting Empathy's impact in that opening matchup, but Alice very clearly stealing the show in this one and sealing up an opening map, a dominant one for the side of Shimmer. Sure, they had a little bit of back and forth, don't get me wrong. There was times where OverKnight felt like they could claw things back and take over control, but at every chance that they got a little bit of room to breathe, Alice came through and denied those opportunities in a consistent fashion, and that's a very clear difference maker. Having a performance like that on an individual level is going to make things impossible, and OverKnight couldn't stand up against those clutches coming through consistently.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the exact same scoreline that Shimmer beat them on Mirage with on October 4th of last year. 13-7 again. I mean, Alice wasn't there for that, but she's clearly the reason why they were able to do it this time. And it's great to have your Opper doing so well on Mirage going to Nuke, because Nuke, it's very important that you're on your game as an Opper, specifically on CT side, even on T side if you choose to run it, right? Anyway, look, Nuke's going to be quite interesting as we head to that map. I feel like if you're OverKnight, you're not too confident, right? You're 0-4 on Nuke over the last 3 months, and it's been one-sided, Cole. I mean, how many rounds combined do we have here? I think 17. 17 rounds combined over 4 maps of Nuke for OverKnight. That is not a pretty picture.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we see that there's maybe a similar difficulty in getting victories overall, but you're talking about an overtime performance versus InControl where they almost had it. You're talking about a 13-11 loss to Reign Above, so it's not without close attempts here for this map of Nuke for the side of Shimmer. So something a little bit more to lean on. They're picking into this map again. You know what to expect out of this OverKnight squad, and they just kind of played into your game plan here of how you counter this team in that last map. Now, sure, we had the individual pop off, but if that continues forward into this map in some form or fashion, and you also see, Empathy had that similar level of impact there, or at least, the star that she provides there, I don't see why Shimmer can't complete the mission and finally start to reverse the trend here of these losses in series overall for OverKnight.
Yeah, trying to end that losing streak and get their first win under the Shimmer banner in 2026. That would be something else, not to mention a 2-0 to advance to play into that next one. Anyway, look, we might be getting ahead of ourselves. We still got at least 1 map left to be played. And of course, OverKnight are going to be feeling like they should have had a better performance on map number 1. Let's see if they can improve it after we head to this break. All right, we're live and into the action here on map number 2. Shimmer dominating 13-7 on map 1 thanks to Alice's 28 frag performance, including an ace to win the map in a 1v1. So she performed above and beyond what we expected. And now OverKnight have their backs against the wall on their opponent's map. Pick. Cool.
Not to expect to be in a position like this. Those clutches kept on rattling off there. Alex was not going to give up on that map of Mirage. 5 rounds that could have gone in the way of OverKnight, instead swinging Alice's direction and the rest of Shimmer, and it's empathy to lift off in map number 2 with the opening pick on the pistol. They're on T roof flanking them, but they're already in ramp as well for the T side, so Serendipity taking advantage of the space created. This one is going to be a hard round to recover. The only big semblance of hope here is Taylor and the gold Berettas double swung and overrun. Secondary position here from Spamsy, and the single door does create a little bit of leverage, swinging out wide for the bomb denial. Something out of the USP, but not long lasting, as AMC instantly taken care of there in the next breath. And it's 3 for 3 on the pistol rounds for Shimmer so far.
And every time on the pistol, not losing more than, I think, 2 bodies. They've been very effective in terms of dispatching OverKnight. Heading into the second round of play, OverKnight decide not to force up. It's just going to be 3 deagles and a 4th one that comes in very late. Shimmer tossing the util out. Smoke is up, and a headshot instantly found against Spamsy. He was just trying to go for a deagle shot, and Ava doesn't even give him the opportunity to do so. Shimmer continue to push up here. Majestics looking for something, anything. Finds a target, but can't connect with it. Hits the grate instead. And there's an airburst Molotov that does go through from Shimmer, but I don't know if that's going to be too big of a deal because the space they've gained is quite significant. However, AMC does finally connect on that deagle, getting the headshot against STX. Alice Roar does get the quick trade, though, and the advantage is retained.
There, working their way out. Nice distraction caused in. Make sure that there's no more damage being done in the here and now, and they clean things up. Only losing a single player on the server. Shimmer staying healthy. And OverKnight going to get that 3rd round bye going as soon as possible. Last time the Shimmer were in a position like this to kind of pounce on the lesser weaponry, they went for a very decisive A hit. This time, setting up some utility maybe for Ava, or instead Alice going to be tossing in that util here, and AMC going to get tucked in towards the back of red. Early fight taken. Oh, quick double coming through from AMC before he drops. That is an impressive sequence there, making it look easy, taking that initiative. Disrupting this attack here early for Shimmer.
Majestics looking for another target here. Serendipity walks out, but Majestic's back into the corner. Are they going to check there? They're hard clearing it. Yep, there goes Majestics down for the count. 3v3. Vanilla pops out, gets 1, but Serendipity instant trade. You have 2 full health players on each side, and Alice will get her 4th on the board at a critical juncture, making it a 2v1 for Taylor. Last one available, goes into A and sees nothing because Shimmer, they had a full minute on the clock. They knew they did not have to push or get aggressive there or rush a plant. Taylor's realized that, though. He's making a lot of noise. Thinks they're already down B, but they're not. They're going to hear all of that. I think. Believe they were far up enough. Yep, there are the footsteps and the spot and the frag. Serendipity takes care of Taylor, and all of that opening space that was gained by AMC's 2K is for naught.
AMC provides the instant double opener, but they can't get back on track in time, and Shimmer gonna rip away a statement start here. 3-0, first gun round handled despite some opening presence coming through from AMC. The rest of the squad now already feel the damage in return here. some more great utility coming through out of this T side on the default towards the outer yard. Counter utility, some semblance. The AMC trying to sneak his way around the corner, but it's so well handled. They are full swinging here with conviction. And again, I mean, you've got the lobby recontrol here, but the issue is you're just losing too many bodies. We got Spamsy on a Mag 7 flank on the top of Marsh. Hello. And be able to read it accordingly and react. Here's the footsteps just in time. They're just keeping their distance nicely. Forte, there was something on offer. But Majestics is immediately left last alive and instantly dismissed there by the headshot of Serendipity. 6-0 for Serendipity now. Even more impact spread throughout these players on Shimmer.
All right, well, the guns are back out for overnight. 4 M4s and the MP9 available. But they need something fast, because this is a CT-sided map where they just can't seem to get their rhythm going, and this has been a recurring trend for overnight on this map. AMC does get the opener, but Empathy will find the trade as AMC gets a little overeager in his hunt for more damage. However, Empathy is down to 5 points of health. Majestics looking around, expecting a push to come through. There's the incendiary toss for secret, so it will attract the Majestics' attention potentially towards outside, and yes, okay, Empathy's gone. Spamsy takes care of that, and a 4v3 in favor of overnight, but Shimmer are not panicking.
Here you go, Vanilla. Drag things open there with some extra help. Trade available. Ava now in a clutch situation. Can't find the spray there on a Spamsy in the heavens. Spamsy able to provide some much needed relief here. Deal with the pressure. A little bit of breathing room for them to work off of now. See if Overnight can take control off the back of that round one. T-side economy still in a good spot, given that they do get that opening victory here. All the bullets sprayed down from AMC, and the HE is on target. A heat-seeking missile there to open things up, but MC still able to hold his ground. Molly doesn't force him out into the open just yet either. He's trying to run away, doesn't make it. Empathy with the Glock in hand is going to deny the escape. There goes the equalizer here, provided a well-worthy trade.
Serendipity. Making a bit of noise here towards ramp. Four Taylor's watching from above. M4 primed and ready to do damage, but it spams you on the other end to get Empathy, and now Vanilla and Four Taylor have a lethal crossfire. It's only Alice Roar left. She does connect for one, but this would be a crazy clutch if she can pull it off. Oh my goodness.
No.
She already got the 1v3 on Mirage. I wouldn't say no, Cole. You never really can tell what can happen here, but she will fall. You were right. Majestics will get the last, and Overnight secure a second. No heroics for Alice that time.
Fair enough here. Goda. Unbelievable presence in that last map. Tough to keep that same measure of approach round in and round out. Looking unbelievably lethal. Some of these opening phases. Situated here. Finally for the Overnight control to be taken over. It's also a good opportunity to start to Get this CT side on track, eating some damage though with Spamsy. Not fully aware of what's around the corner though. Flashbang's good enough to buy him some time there, and Eagles coming through trying to trade things out. Vanilla able to transfer it. OverKnight moving forward, closing that distance down to just a single here now.
Guns are back out for Shimmer, though. Three AKs, the Galil and the AWP. Up against a very similar buy-up on the other side, just to swap the Galil for FMOS, and of course the AKs for M4s. Vanilla jumping around. Alistair, in the meantime, she's looking to find an opener here with the AWP. Again, leads the squad with 9 kills. Also the server, similar to where she was after a few rounds on Mirage. Smoke gonna get tossed here. Serendipity. Hanging around in Squeaky. Alistair does get tagged down to 57, and then Ava is the first to be felled. Serendipity trying to slip through. Uh-oh, she's spotted. Yep, Vanilla will get that, even though Empathy gets the trade in order to gain them space towards the B site through Secret. There's still a man advantage in favor of OverKnight. Alistair, ooh, that's a miss. An opportunity to even out the numbers, but now her position is known, and they're going to try and close in. She's aware of it, though. She's looking up towards Marshmallow. Hits the shot on AMC. For Taylor. Could be an
Oh
no,
my
it's
God.
Majestic. How's she going to do it again?
No way.
She is. 3 kills unanswered. Vanilla going for a fight thinking I have to be able to do this. He will. But Alice, an absolute and total thorn in the side of OverKnight. She picks up exactly where she left off on Mirage. And that's a 5th for Shimmer just because of her play.
Looking for answers there. That is unbelievably consistent there. That's what she's been able to provide for her squad. Just around sealing kills. Once again, stepping up to the plate. 12 and 5 at the moment. Running rampant with the AWP. The biggest silver lining of that round loss is that you were able to take that gun out of her hands and hold on to it here. That is probably a big sigh of relief for the OverKnight camp, knowing that they can't afford it on the other end of the server there. Alice, they're stuck onto a rifle. A sequence on the 3K there towards the outer yard. Now, once again, talking about this CT side getting in the face. Trying to take control of this outer yard here. They're getting out of T-spawn here. They're going to see some contact, and Serendipity able to react quickly as AMC goes down the top of... Gosh, actually, I'm not sure. That might have been a smoke spam instead. Going to continue to aggress him towards lobby. AT blows open the smoke, and that's bad news for Serendipity, but the rest of the trades arriving quickly. The collapse is lethal here for Taylor alone in a clutch of his own, but it's Empathy this time to step up to the plate there. Make sure that the heroics are denied and that op is scooped up. There's 6 locked in for Shimmer.
This is already a great T side for Shimmer. And OverKnight, the struggles on Nuke are continuing. Still a chance to recover, and they are going to send it in this round. Auto shotgun coming through from Miller. He's probably playing top hut with that. And you have an MP9 for Taylor. Other than that, it will be M4s for everyone. But not having the up is probably pretty disadvantageous. I actually don't see Vanilla on top hut. Is he just pushing up from ramp? He is. They're going for a lobby crunch right now. AMC gets a couple. Ava and Serendipity gone. The rest of the players are heading towards B, and obviously that's information gained for Shimmer at the very least, but it costs them a couple of bodies.
Control of the round here as they got position inside of the hut that would be deadly with the auto shot. He's singing for the man advantage here, picked up by Vanilla. Alice going to clear it. Oh, difficult up close and personal shot there. Vanilla and end up putting Taylor down to the end, but OverKnight still able to lay claim to that round with the damage done previously, and Shimmer find themselves in an awkward spot with their economy now. AK brought out from Empathy. You got Alice with a little extra cash flow. I was going to say it wouldn't be a bad time for a timeout here to try and figure out what the end goal is going to be. They're going to do just that.
Shimmer talking things over. Bit of a back and forth swing here on the tail end of this first half, but regardless of what happens, Shimmer will have the edge heading towards CT side with, ensuring that OverKnight can't have a lead on their defensive end, which is already nice. All right, let's get into it. Round number 11. 2 AKs, 3 Tech 9s on the force buy from Shimmer. They don't want to go for an eco. They're looking to get aggressive here, which means they're forcing up down to the finish line of this half. Could either be a huge benefit to them or put them at a disadvantage throughout these next 2 rounds. We'll see which one it is. Ramp is completely vacant. No one is here at all for OverKnight. So, I mean, that's a very glaring gap in the defense. And, you have one player towards the B site. Now there will be a player that fills in that space. It's for Taylor that's jumped on over. Majestics and his teammate also towards B. So despite the gap that was there early on, because Shimmer don't activate quickly, OverKnight don't see it get exposed.
Right, this ramp hit here. He's in position on the ramp side for the defense. For Taylor knocks out 2. He's not even the only player ready to hold this B side together. You got 2 players already in rotation, but there's that lurk from Empathy. Able to thread the needle, pull some strings. Now the double door swung open there. Empathy trying to make sure that those bomb down goes safely here. AMC swinging for the fences with that op, and Allison another clutch. The AK this time.
No.
Actually, it's the first fight, but that's not clean enough there. Vanilla this time going to get away with it again. And they are every time seeing Allison, the server, they're still alive in any sort of clutch scenario. Feeling a little bit nervous, but in this case, a lot more clean on the finish, denying Alice's heroics. Making sure that she can't walk away with too much here.
I mean, we keep saying no every time it happens, but like it's crazy how good she's been. It's just how shocking it would be if it happens again. But it's been a consistency for her, which, I mean, individually to maintain this form across 2 maps is not the easiest of tasks. Round number 12. Final one of this first half is now underway, and because Shimmer forced up in that previous round, you're seeing the result here, having to settle for a couple of Mac 10s, 2 Tech 9s, and a Galil. That being said, this was pretty much the buy-up in their winning round of Mirage to take the map, although it did take an ace from Alice to get there with a Mac 10. Still, anything can happen. 1:23 on the clock. Ava getting ready to push out. And there's the flashbang. Ava gets the opener. They're going to storm into this A site, blitzing it. Majestics, one and only one. He is isolated. Vanilla spotted out as well. Can't collect his crosshair. AMC with the 5-7 around the corner because he has the op in his hands. He chooses to go for the pistol instead, but now he'll be the last one. And Serendipity will deal with him. 7-5 for Shimmer as the all-out blitz with the limited buy-up works.
Very impressive showcase in the half for Shimmer. They get an advantage on their T side of Nuke heading into the defense. They've won every pistol so far, looking to make it 4 for 4. And again, I think they know what's coming when it comes to OverKnight and their tendencies. You have to dig deep in the playbook here for OverKnight. Try and get away with this one. And they got a decent set of utility here for this pistol round. I feel like is where you're gonna see some of the most tactical depth out of these T sides. In rounds like this, or swings open. Using HE here instead. The smoke gonna go down range here through the opened up door, but it's not gonna be any ground gain here. Empathy shutting down the play. Dorettis on the top of the hut, and there's still extra help going on. STX and Ava have the rest handled, and Shimmer go 4 for 4 on the pistols.
That, and convincingly, right? We didn't see a close pistol round in these 4 rounds that they won. Like, it's been all Shimmer. Crazy. As now they'll have an 8-5 lead. OverKnight have not been aggressive in their buy-ups after losing the pistols. Every single time just going for upgrades. That's it. Not going into the forces. Eagles for everyone. STX holding the line around blue box towards outside. See what this MP9 can do. Bit of a range for it to cover. And yeah, Taylor will get a headshot there. Alice Roar and Empathy come through and get 3 combined. Spamsy does manage to get the trade, but it's still a man disadvantage here for OverKnight. Alice, Serendipity, and Ava still standing. Alice breaks open the window. Spamsy knows that she's here, and she'll still win the duel. Just that good right now. 2K for her on the round, and Vanilla walks out of the smoke and doesn't realize Serendipity's right in front of his nose. Shimmer will take a knife.
No troubles handling that one. Move forward with the pace. Into this next breath here, they got themselves a crappy purchase here. Minimal utility on the T side now. And a flashbang to try and send it outside Alice to open things up. Got a player on top of this garage position. Flashbang's working wonders and not reacting to the shots fired as Majestics on the top rope. STX sending him packing. But Taylor is finally able to put a finish on that. 3v3 as the battle wages on towards the outer yard. One's already slipped down in towards secret. The bloodbath here, but one of the T side will happily take considering the positioning here now.
Yeah. Depends on how they maneuver here. Where they send the bomb. Shimmer have a couple of players leaning towards B, although now it's only Empathy. And there's a fight coming. Potentially. Although Empathy will be on the upper side of the site. She might not be spotted as Vanilla moves in. We'll see. 43 seconds remain on the clock now. Empathy not sure where the fight might come from. And I feel like OverKnight maybe taking too long. Like, this is going to be a B finish. So Empathy's in a lot of trouble. She will have her hands full. If she can even get 1 here, that would be enough. Here's the door open. There's the 1. A second, perhaps? No. But at least now a 2v2 that Shimmer can still come back from. Wow.
Manageable there. Ava going to make it so. Bamsy gets the numbers punched in, but it's not going to be fully planted for him. There's a kit involved in Ava. They don't know where he's gone off to, so he can quickly strike there and stay safe. Going to look to do just that, and he finds the instant frag here. Ava going to stick it. 5-second defuse, and he's moving a little slow. Ava, with time on the defuse, just rips the round away before Spamsy can react.
What?
That kit worth its weight in gold. And Shimmer end up coming out on top in the end.
That is wild. Truly, Spamsy's got to be so frustrated, right? Just Ava just ducking up and down on that bomb, and doesn't even matter as Spamsy couldn't get there in time to fire the shots off anyway before the defusal was off. 10-5 for Shimmer. OverKnight bomb plant helps. Full loss bonus is there. So they will get 3 AKs and 2 Galeos with a good chunk of utility, but they need rounds and fast. Smoke's gonna go out. AMC. Round in it. STX could be a problem for them. A big problem. Empathy will get one. Now STX even more potent in her spot, and there it is. Alice throws the flash to support. A 5v3. They're stranded over at mid. Taylor barely clinging on to life with 19 points of health remaining. And STX wisely backs off. She says, I don't have to stick around here. We've got a 5v3 advantage. Let them come to us.
What they'll do here, they'll fall back a little bit more passive. STX, talk about passive. Deep in CT spawn here, looking for an angle, and it's instant onto Majestics. He peers his head to try and dive in towards the heavens, and will be dismissed. The timing on Vanilla not working out for him either. Taylor, incredibly low on HP. He's gonna hand his AK over to Serendipity as Shimmer up to 11 in a flawless defensive effort so far. Another round gets out of hand here for OverKnight. Can't find a pathway to recovery here for themselves. Two Mac 10s. Firepower that they invest leaves some of these players without good utility to work off of. Might be looking for a decisive strike on ramp, and that's not a bad read. The most aggressive stance here from Serendipity, giving over control here. Eastside's going to work to try and chase things down, but there's Serendipity, still 1 for 1. Rotates trying to arrive onto the scene. Help from Empathy already available, but Majestics trades things out. Another 1 for 1. Rotates arriving rapidly though. AMC trying to find safety to plant this bomb. We'll be able to get those numbers punched in as Majestics gets involved as well. He knows there's one around the corner here in single door. And Alice still alive in a clutch. And look at the HP bars here for this T side. Barely walking. They wait that smoke out. They're going to look to take their time to strike now. AMC doesn't spot anything for now in the single door. Utility reveals it. Spam going down range. AMC trying to play off the silo. Instantly finds the first frag. Alice. Bomb going to be planted here. Timer ticking away. She's going to tap it first. Finds the kill. Not quite. Majestic's going to rip another clutch away. Alice trying to continue that effort from Mirage. But this time going to slip out of the grasp here. And Shimmer are going to let one to the wayside. And because of some of the close nature, their money going to be in question.
A reminder, folks, you can also check out all of the latest news for the Thunderpick World Championship over on hotspawn.com. That's hotspawn.com. As we go into this next round, Shimmer decided to be conservative. I think that's the smart choice, right? You keep money healthy enough for an AWP in the next round. You still have an M4 here, along with some pistols that can do some damage. Let's see what happens. Taylor rips that rifle right out of Empathy's hands, and then gets the next. Yeah, this is all OverKnight on the lighter investment for Shimmer.
Good day here for them. Gonna flush out Ava as well. Back a silo position in. Alice gonna try and do some exit damage. I like the sticker on the back of the Deagle there. That's a statement right there. Overall, Shimmer gonna swing things out in the next with a very good purchase, but there are some sacrifices. MP9 in the mix, Empathy onto a FAMAS as well, so not the easy sub buys to try and seal up 12. This is the ticket here for OverKnight. They can make a string of rounds work together. That is their pathway. You've just denied that X factor that Alice is providing in the server right now, with all these consistent clutches in the last gun round. That might be a clear difference maker. How you claim this comeback. We get crossed down, a lot of smoke spam coming through, but no contact from either side. Smokes are going to fade away here. They got back a big garage. Control here working in their favor. STX with the Scoped weaponry. Try and get an angle here. Spots out one first. One close fire on the box, though. And it's a good trade from Taylor. Sneaking his way around the corner. Getting himself in towards hell. The real estate from this T side is feeling fierce and add an extra kill to the tally. Taylor, no secret about climbing up that ladder. Revealed, but still the kills flowing in the favor of the CT side for now, and continued effort from Serendipity. A labored fight from Vanilla, battling it out here up against Serendipity. Utility out, sees the shadow, and Serendipity able to slip into safety now.
Oh, what?
Oh, sound cue handed over,
get
drops off, and now
no.
the volley gonna burn her out of the corner.
Man, that's so tough. If she had just made that jump, then she would have been safe, but because she doesn't, the Molotov will flush her out. Now it's Alice and Ava, and just Alice and no longer anyone. Majestic's gonna clutch it out. 2 frags there, but 3 on the round, and an 8th found for OverKnight. Everyone contributing here for OverKnight to try and get them back into it. Still a 3-round deficit to deal with, but, you know, that CT economy can be very frail, and you see just 1 round loss, and they're back to an eco on Shimmer.
Recovery here, USP's coming out. They're gonna make sure that this next gun round is as strong as it can get. They're just flooding the outer yard in towards hell. There's a kill from Empathy. Bomb is in control of Spamzy, and if he doesn't win that duel, it could have been problematic, but he handles business. Kill from Serendipity here. Scoop up an AK, short-lived. Vanilla will come through with the finishing touches. Out of there. And closes down to just 2 rounds here. OverKnight right back in the mix here. Some good damage done in the last. Shimmer gonna need an extra push here across the finish line. Who is gonna be answering that call?
That is a very good question. Alice was the one answering it previously on Mirage. Empathy and Alice both playing well. In fact, there aren't many weaknesses on either side of the server, really. Everyone's been contributing. But it's who will step up and take that extra little leap forward. STX will get that opener onto Taylor with the AUG. Empathy in a bit of trouble. Vanilla misses the shot. Ava fading away right before Vanilla had a chance to track her head. And Empathy will get another AMC gone. Vanilla peeks around and does eventually finish off Ava, but it's still a disadvantage. And look at the health for Vanilla after that fight. Only 11 points remain in a 4v3 that is... It feels like it's more potent than that just because of the HP bars for OverKnight.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big difference to make here. Low HP man down as well for OverKnight. Serendipity already has a swift rotate in towards covering off the secret crawl. Quick headshot, though, can unlock some space here, but unfortunately for Spamzy, that not going to be provided. Serendipity with that quick rotate. It's going to slow down the approach. There's a lot of responsibility on Empathy's shoulder right now. But again, man, this position from STX is just so lethal. It's one that you're going to overlook 9 times out of 10. There's a clear, but that scoped rifle is way too strong. Deep in towards CT. Bomb in control of Vanilla. The timing out the squeaky door. See? Gonna drop in towards Hut. Give over the sight here. Vanilla has to stick the bomb now. Has to be a full stick and knife. Empathy playing with her food right there before she chops it up. It's gonna provide a bomb plant here either way. It's extra cash for Empathy to seal the deal. Finishing it off with style there. Let's Vanilla think about his decisions before she finishes the job. And Shimmer have 3 chances to close things down.
I still think that goes back to the knife attempt up against Alice in the first map. It's like, oh yeah, you think you can get a knife? No one had gotten one up until this point, and it's Empathy who actually manages to do it. So I love that. Very fun, exciting moments here in this one. 12-9 for Shimmer. They have 3 opportunities to close the door on the series. Yeah, that's a nice opener from AMC. Alice hasn't had much luck in the past few rounds, but Empathy has taken up the mantle. 4v4 as she got the instant trade. STX, the blue box, and yeah, around credit card and Majestics will capitalize on that. I was going to say it's a super risky position to be holding, and Vanilla catches Ava lurking a bit too far. This round's not looking good for Shimmer at all. Getting ahead of themselves a little bit. Serendipity, last one available, will hit a nice headshot. Good crosshair placement at the very least. Flashbang goes out, bomb being planted on A. It would be a clutch and a half if Serendipity can pull this off, but 3 more bodies required, and I'm not sure if she'll even get a chance at this next frag. Yep, utility's out. She gets damage down to 12 HP and finished off by 4 killers.
Had that one in the palm of his hands, wrapping it up on the flank there. Great opening goal from AMC. It's a positioning there towards the outer yard there, catching it by surprise. STX be dismissed, and the rest of the team kind of crumbling down afterwards. Still 2 more chances here. This one got to be it, though, you would think. Their best chance to close things off. That knife having a little bit of impact there because Empathy still able to get some great weaponry into the mix here. Keep positioning towards that outer yard. Alice catches the opening frag and is ready to close things down with a double. They're making moves out towards A, but dismissed by Ava. And this one might finally be the break of the spell there. Getting past the curse here. 5 series loss to this OverKnight team, but in an elimination matchup in the lower bracket, AMC is left alone in a clutch, playing up against series point. And Alice, seemingly that push to get them past the goalpost here. AMC getting flanked now, only a matter of time. Will be finished off there eventually. Deal sealed by Shimmer. They will move forward into that qualification match, a chance to make it into the playoffs in a great series versus OverKnight here.
That was unbelievable. And Alice in particular, although she kind of slowed down at the tail end, Empathy picked up the pace and looked incredible too. I give the MVP to Alice, though. Overall, she was absolutely lights out, incredible. Helped with a very potent T side on Nuke, and also closing things out on Mirage was unstoppable there. Really fantastic individual performance, but it also was a great team performance too, right? In terms of utility, in terms of strategy, like everything was going well for them, and I felt like they were reading the map well and adapting to what OverKnight were bringing their way, which was very fast play, right?
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. They're able to handle the kind of momentum that OverKnight like to play with, and especially on those CT sides. You start to talk about the pistol round conversions that they're able to capture consistently as well. Didn't miss a beat on those. We're breaking through those pistols, went 4 for 4. But I'm right there with you, Alice. In that first map, I was looking for her round swing. It's not out yet, but if you guys go and check the match page, that round swing is going to be crazy in that first map because of all the clutches that Alice was able to provide here for the squad. I mean, there was maybe 5 rounds alone that she was the tide turner, the one that was able to close things down for her squad. So just a massive victory there. And again, the fact that they get this opportunity with this roster in particular, with Alice joining the server and immediately feeling that impact that she brings, that kind of changes the direction of Shimmer. And I think this is a massive hurdle to overcome for them in terms of the struggles that they faced in 2025, now to being able to break through in 2026.
Yeah, and the round swing on Mirage, Cole, I think I have it up here, plus 19.73%.
Oh my God.
Absolutely mind-blowing. And a 2.39 rating. Yeah, she absolutely crushed it. Let's check out the bracket now to see what all this means. And yeah, Shimmer advancing to face off against FarmVille. I think that one's a toss-up too. I really do, Cole. I feel like FarmVille didn't necessarily convince us of anything up against Aether, and Shimmer looked really good today.
And honestly, Shimmer did convince us. They had a really good performance there, and had Empathy popping off. Then get Alice involved in this qualification series there. I mean, their chance at the playoffs is definitely available here, and that would be massive strides for this team to gain here in terms of the momentum, in terms of the confidence levels for this team to make it into the playoffs would be a huge stride for them. Chance to play up against some of that tougher competition as well. So Shimmer definitely showing out and impressing here in Group A, and FarmVille going to be watching some of these matchups and you know, having to really prepare for this head-to-head.
Absolutely. No question at all. And I think Shimmer looked like the sharper team, as we already highlighted. Anyway, that's going to do it for our coverage here today. But the group stages will end tomorrow. The last 2 decider matches are going to be played. We're done for now, though, of course. And, well, we're wishing you a fantastic evening, folks, and we'll see you tomorrow.